I learned the hard way. Love should never be begged for. I still remember the day I met Alex. He was everything I ever wanted in a person: kind, charming, and he made me laugh like no one else. Being with him felt like a dream, and I thought, this is it. He's the one. For 3 years, I gave him everything I had. I loved him with every fiber of my being. I planned our future, imagined our lives together, and believed in the promises he made. But looking back now, I realize how blind love can make you. It started slowly, little things that didn't seem like a big deal at the time. He stopped replying to my messages as quickly as he used to. The good night calls became less frequent, and his excuses became more routine. "I'm busy," he'd say, or "you're overthinking." At first, I convinced myself it was normal. People get busy, right? Relationships go through phases, don't they? But deep down, I could feel something shifting. And the worst part was, I started blaming myself. I thought, maybe I'm not doing enough. So, I tried harder. I sent him cute texts every morning, planned dates that he would cancel, and even adjusted my schedule just to make things easier for him. But the more effort I put in, the farther he seemed to drift away. One evening, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I sat him down and asked, "Alex, is everything okay? Do you still love me?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he sighed and looked away. That sigh, it was like someone had punched me in the stomach. When he finally said, "I don't know," it felt like my entire world came crashing down. But here's the part I'm not proud of. I begged. I begged him not to leave me. I cried, clinging to him, saying, "Please, Alex, we can fix this. Tell me what you need, and I'll do it. Just don't give up on us." Do you know what he said? He said, "I just need space." Space. That word echoed in my mind for days. I gave him his so-called space, hoping he'd miss me, hoping he'd realize what we had was worth fighting for. But he didn't come back. Instead, he moved on as if the 3 years we spent together meant nothing. I was shattered. I spent nights crying myself to sleep, questioning what I did wrong. I stopped eating, stopped smiling, and started shrinking into a version of myself I didn't even recognize. One day, I visited my sister, Clara. She's always been the wise one in the family. When I told her everything, she held my hand, looked me in the eyes, and said something I'll never forget. "Emily, love is not something you should have to beg for. The right person will never make you feel unwanted. They will choose you every day without hesitation. And if they don't, they're not worth your tears." Those words hit me hard. For the first time, I realized how much of myself I had given up trying to hold onto someone who wasn't willing to stay. I had poured my heart into a relationship where I was the only one trying. So, I made a decision. I stopped texting him. I stopped waiting for his calls. I stopped looking at his social media to see if he missed me. Instead, I started focusing on myself. I went back to painting, something I hadn't done in years. I reconnected with friends who reminded me of my worth. Slowly, I began to heal. Months later, Alex did reach out. He sent me a long message, apologizing and saying he missed me. For a moment, I felt the old pain resurface. But then I thought about everything I had been through, how far I had come, and I knew I couldn't go back. I replied, "Thank you for your apology, Alex. But I've learned that love isn't something you beg for. If you couldn't see my worth then, you don't deserve me now." And just like that, I let him go, for good. Lesson: love is not about chasing, begging, or convincing someone to stay. True love is given freely, without conditions or hesitation. If someone doesn't see your worth, it's not your job to prove it to them. You deserve someone who chooses you every single day, someone who values you for who you are, not someone you have to plead with to stay. Never beg for love, attention, or commitment. The right person will never make you feel like you have to. Choose yourself. Love yourself. And trust that the right love will come when you no longer settle for less.